Okay, good evening, guys. Hi, good evening, guys. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. This week, we are doing a third section of Facebook Live. So today's topic, we're going to talk about VO2 Max or running economy. So basically, let me introduction his little bit background. He's a student. This year is the final year for the degree of sports science. He's also an athlete for 5K, 10K, mid distance and long distance. And personally, he also do coaching as well. Okay, so he have a lot of experience, the racing experience, track and field racing experience. He also write program for those like school track and fields, and he have a lot of experience on the research paper as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to put in a comment. So Coach Jian Yun will help you to answer the questionnaire. Okay, so today he gonna share the topic. It's gonna be based on his study and also research. And this topic is I think a lot of people talk about VO2 max. So what is VO2 max? And what does it matter versus the running economy? So what's the difference in between? So Jian Yun gonna share about more about this topic. Okay, so Jian Yun, your time.
Okay, so my name is Jian Yun. So just now what Coach Sam say, yes, I'm a final year student from TAIUC. Currently study bachelor degree in sports and exercise science. So I'm also a coach in Ramfast Academy. And first of all, before we start the topic, I would like to thank our head coach, Coach Sam, and Ramfast Academy for giving me this opportunity to present my knowledge for you guys, and so that more runners will have more knowledge to improve their performance. So today's topics we will be talking about VO2 max or running economy, which can improve your long distance running performance. So I hope you guys have heard that VO2 max, the higher the VO2 max value, the better the running performance, or maybe the better the running economy, the better the running performance. This is one of the true story from my student. He told me that actually some people ask him, what is your VO2 max value? So he said that his VO2 max value is around 55 milliliter per kg per minute. And some people say that, oh, if your VO2 max value is not higher than 60 milliliter per kg and per minute, then maybe it may impact your running performance. So later we will see how, and we will discuss together between the VO2 max and the running economy, which can impact on your running performance.
Okay, let me share the screens. Okay.
Okay, so before we look into VO2 max or running economy, so we need to know about what is running first. Okay, Coach, next slide.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, running is a type of aerobic exercise which you need to consume enough oxygen to supply enough energy for you to sustain longer during the race or during the exercise. So you need to consume enough oxygen, which means it will translate into VO2 max. So let's us look into what is VO2 max first. Coach, next slide. Okay, so VO2 max is defined as how much of the volume oxygen consumption that you can consume it maximally during maximum effort or maximum intensity. So to not look so much into the VO2 max science behind the VO2 max, we will looking into the VO2 max equation first. So the VO2 max is equal to your cardiac output, which your cardiac output is equal to your stroke volume times your heart rate, and from your cardiac output, then you times your arterial venous oxygen differences. I think you guys might think that this is too science and maybe this is too difficult to understand. So I will briefly, not deeply, but briefly explain it to you guys so that you guys have a idea and image about what is VO2 max. So basically, if you're talking into VO2 max, we're talking into our heart, we're talking into oxygen consumption. So let's look into what is cardiac output first. So basically, cardiac output is that how much of the volume, how much of the blood that your heart can pump throughout your body in a minute, which means that the stroke volume is that how much of the blood that your heart can pump up throughout your body in a beat, and the heart rate is defined as how many beats, how much of the your heart rate, the heartbeat that can beat in a minute. So the factor affecting
Okay, I think we have some internet issue on Jian Yun's side. So just give me a minute, okay? So feel free to drop any questions if you have any. So ask about VO2 Max, running economies. So, yep. Hi, Jae-Young, can you hear me?
coach. Yeah. Sorry, just
okay, cool.
accidentally exceeded.
No problem, continue. Yes.
Okay. So just now,
Okay, you just now talking
just now
about
we stop.
the formulas, and the last one is the blood flow, muscle blood flow.
Okay. So there are several factors that can affect on your stroke volume. So just now we're talking that the stroke volume is how much of the blood that your heart can pump up throughout the body in a beat. So actually, the heart size can affect your stroke volume, which means that the bigger of your heart, the bigger size of your heart, the more the blood that your heart can contain it and pump up throughout your whole body. So the contractility of the heart is also important because your heart need to pump out forcefully throughout your whole body so that your muscles, your exercise muscles or your working muscles can receive the oxygenated blood, which your blood carry the oxygen and to supply enough energy to your exercise. So the AVO2 differences, which are also known as the arterial venous oxygen difference, so is affected by the number of capillaries, the density of the mitochondria, and the muscle blood flow efficiency. So if your muscle can extract the oxygen easily from the blood, then which means that your muscle can supply enough oxygen, can supply enough energy, to sustain longer during the exercise or during the race. So from here you can see that maybe VO2 max is unique, important in your running performance, because from here we already know that heart is important, the heart size, the heart contractility, and the number of capillaries, the density of mitochondria. So these are the factors that can affect on your VO2 max. So let's look into how can you test on your VO2 max. Okay, so there are two ways to for you to measure your VO2 max. Okay, so basically the laboratory test and the field test. Okay, so let's look into the field test first. Next slide. Okay, so actually there are many types of field tests out there. You can find it maybe one mile run test or 1.3 mile test, like that, something like that. So actually after I do some reading and I also do some research on it, and I found that these two types of run tests that you can do it without any cost. So you can just do it in the track or in the park, or maybe around your house also can, maybe lah. So these tests are 2.4 km run test and 2 mile run test. So as I mentioned just now, I'm a sports science student, so basically we already have our actual VO2 max value, because we already did some lab tests, which is the VO2 max value is the actual one, the accurate one. So after I did some research, I compare from the 2.4 km run test and the 2 mile run test and compare with my actual VO2 max value. I found that between these three tests, actually the field test and the lab test is not to say the accurate one, but almost close to my actual VO2 max test from between the field test and the lab test. So this is what I recommend for you guys, that maybe you guys can do 2.4 km run test or 2 miles run test in the track or in the park also can. So beside that, you can see that there's a scoring system for you guys. So actually as you can see, there is some number on top, 13 to 17, 18 to 26, or 25 to 36, or maybe 22 to 39. That's your age group. So you find that
Jian
hello,
Yun?
hello,
Okay,
hello.
continue because just now. Okay, continue with the scoring system. Yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry for the technical issues.
Well,
Okay, so
continue.
so you guys, based on your age and find the equation to calculate out your VO2 max value. So as you can see that there is MINS, that's your minute. So what is the duration for you to complete the distance, and the kg is your weight. Okay, so after you complete the test, you can use this formula. So there's male and female, so you just select the equation and calculate your VO2 max value. So this is one of the way that you can calculate and measure your VO2 max through the field test. So how about the lab test? Okay, before we go into lab test, so this is the norms. Coach, next slide. Okay, so this is the norms for you guys as a reference. So this is based on the ACSM guideline from 2018. So ACSM is
Jian Yun, no sound from your side. Okay, look like we have some technical issue here. Let me go and see what's going on. Oops, there's some disconnect. Okay. Okay, Jian Yun will log in back. Okay. So it look like Jian Yun's side, the internet connection is not stable over there. So he's using handphone to call in as well. So this is the first time Coach Jian Yun do the live with us. So yes, just spend your time, okay? Stay with us. We'll be back soon, okay? Okay, he's back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Let's continue.
Okay, sorry for the technical issues.
No problem. Continue, yes.
So, as I mentioned just now, this is the norms. So after you using the equation to calculate your the VO2 max value, and you can use the number to find out which is your fitness level. So if your age is between 20 to 29, and you use it the number, like for example, if your VO2 max value is 60 milliliter per kg per minute, so which means that your fitness level is excellent. So you are almost almost elite. You are competitive athletes or elite athletes. So this is for males, and the females is the next slide. Yes, this one. So you guys maybe can screenshot it or capture it, okay, for the reference. Okay, so
And finish. Okay.
okay, so the next slide. Okay, now we're looking into how we measure the VO2 max in the lab. Okay, so as you can see in the picture, there's one guy running on the treadmill, suffering. That was me. So I was during my junior year, I become my seniors subject who just standing in front of the computer, and he's doing the baseline study for me to test on my VO2 max. So before I attend his final year project, so actually his title is to study on some the supplement consumption effect on the running performance. So if you guys want to have to look into your actual VO2 max result, which I would say that lab test is the accurate one. Field test is just like for you guys just to play around, but if you guys are very serious athletes, then I think you guys should go to the lab and to test your actual VO2 max, because what we can do is that after we know your VO2 max value, then we can identify your fitness level and prescribe the training program for you and design a proper training program for you to improve your performance. So here's some maybe some tips or some gift for you guys. So okay, so if you guys want to have a want to go for the lab to test on your VO2 max, so if you guys want it, then you guys can comment down below the comment section, so I can comment so that I can inbox you guys and get your contact, so that we can schedule a time to come over our lab in Thai UC to have a actual VO2 max test. So to do that, so I will request you guys to, if you guys think that you are elite level, or maybe your age range is around 18 to 30 years old, so maybe you can join as part of my project to become my subject, to have a study on my final year project. So that if you join as my subject, I can do a baseline study for you to check your actual VO2 max values. So from there, I can identify whether you is a elite athlete or not elite athlete. So if you are elite athlete, then I will request you to join as part of my study to become my subject. So I can't tell the title yet. So if you are interested, then comment below, then I will DM you. So now we already know what is VO2 max and how to test your VO2 max. Now we are talking about how to improve your VO2 max. So uh, this is from one of the research article. This is quite interesting from Hof et al. 2007. They actually found that interval training is more efficient than LSD running or lactate threshold run, because interval training can improve your VO2 max value. And this research, they're using these 4 types of training method, which is lactate threshold run, LSD. I know you guys already know what is LSD. So LSD is the long slow distance run, and the short interval running or the long interval running. They found that interval running can improve your VO2 max significantly. So the reason behind this is because you are running at the high intensity, the maximum effort, because VO2 max is, we want to have the maximum effort, which means that if you consistently train at the high intensity, then you are more likely to improve your VO2 max. Like for example, how you know whether you are running at the high intensity, then I think you can use the heart rate max, the percentage of heart rate max, which is 90 to 95% of your heart rate max. So how can you know your
Okay, we have some signal loss from Coach Jian Yun's side. So we need to wait for a while for him to log in back. Okay. So feel free to comment if you have any questions here. So outside, we from training, usually we heard about we train for lactate threshold, LSD, and also for long interval. Okay. Hi, Jian Yung. Continue. Yes.
Hi. Sorry for today, phone working not optimally. Okay.
Okay.
So just now we talking about how can you know about your heart rate max, is that you're using the equation 220 minus your age, and that is your heart rate max. And then if you want to train at high intensity, like for example 90 to 95% of your heart rate max, then you use your heart rate max times 0.9 or 90%, just like that. Then you will know your target heart rate, your target training heart rate is how much. So uh, so you guys already know that how can you improve your VO2 max. Then maybe you can include some of the interval training session into your training program, so that you can improve your VO2 max and also maybe your running performance. So now we already know that what is VO2 max, how can you measure it, then how can you improve it. So now let's looking into what is running economy. Okay, so basically running economy is defined as the measure by the steady state consumption of the oxygen and the respiratory exchange ratio RER at the given velocity of sub-maximal running. I think you guys might think that what is RER. So some small explanation here. So RER is actually that we use it to see whether your body is using carbs to produce to supply energy, or you using fat to supply energy. So if you are running steadily means you are more likely to using fat to supply energy. If you are running at the high intensity, then you are more likely to using glucose to supply energy. So uh, for example, for the to determine the good running economy or the poor running economy. So from the picture on the left, you can see that there's a great runner, Eliud Kipchoge, the breaking 2 hours record holder, and Kenenisa Bekele, the best distance runner. And from these two elite athletes, actually their VO2 max value is the same. For example, Eliud Kipchoge and Kenenisa Bekele, their VO2 max value is around something like 80 milliliter per kg per minute. And if you think that their VO2 max value is the same, then how can you determine their running performance? Because in most of the race, there is only one winner. There is no two winners. So if their VO2 max value is the same, then how can we measure the running performance? So maybe running economy can measure the running performance. So from what the definition said, that maybe I can use it in our example. So for example, both of these runners, they run at 20 kilometer per hour for 15 minutes. And we can see that
Okay, it looks like we have some line drop again from Jian Yun's side. Okay. Hi, Jian Yun, please continue. Yep.
okay, so just now we left at example of the running economy. So as I mentioned just now, both two runners run at 20 kilometer per hour for 20 minutes. Okay, so we see their VO2 value, not VO2 max, the sub-maximal VO2 value. And we can see that maybe Eliud Kipchoge, he actually consumed only 67 milliliter per kg per minute, while Kenenisa Bekele, he consumed much higher, which is maybe 75 milliliter per kg per minute, which means that Eliud Kipchoge just only need to consume less of the oxygen in order to run at the high velocity, which means that if you are consume less oxygen to run at the high velocity, then you have a good running economy, which most of the research found that actually VO2 max is not the good predictor to predict your running performance, but running economy. So from here you can think that maybe running economy is the best way to determine your running performance. So we will look into how in the following slide. So next slide. Okay, so there are several factors that can affect on your running economy. So these are the six. I summarize it out. Actually, there's more. So I just give some quick example for the body mass. So as you can see that most of the marathoner, they are very skinny. They have lightweight. So if your weight is heavy, then you are more likely to carry more weight. The more the weight you carry, the more the energy you need to spend. So this one, most of us like marathoners, long distance runners, we don't like to carry much of the weight because this is wasting too much of the energy on our body weight. So this is the reason why body mass can affect on the running economy. So next slide. So how can you improve your running economy, coach? Next slide. Okay. So how can you improve your running economy? So basically there are many ways, but these three training method is my favorite training method. So resistance training, plyometric training, core stability training. So these three training actually can improve running economy. Not just I'm the one who's saying this. Actually, there are several research article. Scientists found that these these three types of training method that can actually improve your running economy, which also can translate into improve your running performance. So actually, these three training method, how can they improve your running economy is because of your muscular strength, your muscular power, your leg power output, and your neuromuscular system. So if your leg power output is better, which means that you have a good running economy you because you don't need to consume much of the oxygen in order to uh, push off from the ground, and you just your muscle elasticity is very good, so that you are running more efficiently than those who consume high oxygen, because they need to consume more oxygen in order to supply enough energy. But you don't need to consume enough oxygen, but your muscle already store some of the energy for you to propel forward or push off the ground, so that you can run very fast and sustain longer in the race. So which means that you have a good running economy. So next, okay, so now we were looking into post method and running economy. So I bet you guys think that actually Run Fast Academy is talking more on post method running, post method training, but actually we are not just talking about how good is our training method, how good is post method, but actually this is what the research, the our I think it's our great founder, the Dr. Romanov is the founder of post method. He cooperate with some of the sports scientists to do some of the research on the running economy and the running performance. So actually he did some of the research, he did some of the study. He found that most of the runners, elite runners, triathlete, after training with the post method, they found that they have improved their running performance because they improve their running economy. So how post method can improve their running economy is because they reduce the vertical oscillation. So what is vertical oscillation? Vertical oscillation is that when you push off the ground, your body will jump up. I mean your feet, your push off the ground vertically. But the greater the vertical oscillation, the more the leg power you exert out and push off vertically, then you are not as good in running economy, because you are wasting too much of the energy. So actually, the simplest way to understand is that vertical oscillation can translate into your stride rate, which your cadence, running cadence. So running cadence like the optimal running cadence is that we say that 820, right, coach?
820. You mean
100
180
the
and
running
200?
cadence?
Yeah. 180
Yeah.
average. Yeah.
Yeah, 180. Actually, this is the optimal number because research found that runners who run, they compare the running cadence between the three runners. They one of the runners run at 160, one of the runner run at 180, and another runner run at 200 the cadence. So they found that actually because if you increase your cadence, then you are more likely to run faster. Is that make sense?
Okay, so basically, I think what Jian Yong trying to say is, if you increase your cadence, right, is it will you run faster, or you fall more, you run faster, which is straight line. So there's the two things here. Okay, so you need to ask yourself. Hello. Okay, line drop again. Just a minute.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so you talk just now. You mentioned about the cadence. If we
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you. Just now you halfway
Okay.
you stop on the cadence. You mentioned
Okay.
about if, let's say we increase our cadence, will we run faster?
Yeah. Actually, if we increase our cadence, the stride frequency, then we are more likely to run faster because you are running forwards. So but some people say that the higher the cadence you go, the more the energy expend. Then which mean that you are not running good running economy, but you are more likely to exhausted early in the competition or exercise. So research found that the optimal cadence is actually the 180. The reason is because you are not using too much of the energy and you are running more faster and you
Okay, there's a line drop again. So let's wait for Jian Yong to log back. So what Jian Yong just now mentioned about, he say about 180s average is the best cadence how we run. Okay, for a better running economy is better. Okay. So you also notice that some people they run below 180. So what will happen? So basically, you also have a longer ground contact time. You spend more time on the ground, and not so efficient, not so good economies. If you run more than that, also you spend too much of energy. So this is what Jian Yong trying to say. Okay, so 180 is based on a lot of research. And also the law of running. So a lot of research book doctors they mention about this 180 cadence average. Okay. Feel free to ask questions if you have any. We will answer you short. Okay. Hi, Jian Yong, can you hear me?
hi.
Okay, please continue. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, so sorry again. So just now I talking about the cadence, right?
Yep.
So actually research found that 180 is the optimal one because you don't spend too much of the energy on your leg. So another way is that post method can improve running economy is we fix your strike pattern, your landing pattern, which means most of the post method runners, they are more likely to be the mid foot striker rather than the heel striker, because heel striker, they are more likely to have knee pain or knee injury. So in post method running, we not just improve running economy, but we also decrease the injury risk. So from here, we can see that actually there is improve in neuromuscular coordination for the post method, and decrease the ground contact time, which means the landing time. If your landing, your duration, the duration that you land on the ground too long, which means that you are spending too much of the energy to balance your body when you are landing. So if you decrease the landing time, then you are more likely to run faster, to propel forward, and you are better in running economy, which help you in your running performance. So long story short, let's look into the next slide. So from here, we can see that the heel strike running technique and the post method running. So some correction, post method running is actually the 4-foot striker. Okay, so actually, as you can see that on the picture on the left bottom, and you can see that the runner slightly lean forward. His upper body is slightly lean forward. The reason why most of the coach tell you that why you need to run and you need to slightly lean forward your body. The reason is because if you lean forward, then you create some small momentum, the initial force that can pull you forward. Then you can run forward, not just like a heel strike, you run vertically, which means that you will increase your vertical oscillation. That's not what we want. We want the smooth one with the minimal vertical oscillation, which means that you are more economy in the running. You are more likely to run more efficiently. Then heel striker, why you will get knee injury, knee pain, like
Okay, we have some light drop again. So from these two pictures, actually, what Jian trying to explain is it is not good when you do overstrike or heel strike and also push off, because this will injure yourself and also not so efficient when you run. Okay.
hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Please continue.
Okay. So in post method running, we are talking more into pulling, right, coach?
Yes, pulling your leg and
Uh,
falling.
yeah, we need to fall and pull our leg forward, which means that if you lean forward, then you will fall forward, and your rear foot will pull forward again. So this will improve your running economy, and this is the good way for you to run, which can reduce the injury risk. So however, the reason why we say that low vertical oscillation can actually improve your running economy is because uh, if you are using too much of the energy to against the gravity, then you are more likely to using much of the energy wasted on your leg to push against the gravity.
Mm.
If you are not using much of the energy to push against the gravity, then you are more likely to have a higher strike rate, and you will have a minimal vertical oscillation. Then you will have good running economy, which means that you can run faster, and your running performance will be better. So let's look into the next slide. Okay, so now you guys might think that what is the best for you guys, running economy or the VO2 max to determine your running performance. So next slide. Okay, so if you think that you are a experienced runner, elite runner, competitive runner, I would say that running economy is important for you. You are because your physiological adaptation already shown that you can run longer, but now it's time for you to improve your speed, which means your running economy, because running economy research already show that running economy is the best way for you to determine your running performance or translate into your running performance. But for beginner, I would say that not not really running economy, but VO2 max better, because if you don't improve your VO2 max, then how can you sustain longer in the race? And if you are elite athletes, then if you already have the base, if you already have the good VO2 max value, then why you just if you want to improve the running performance, if you want to improve your running speed, then I think that running economy is suitable for you guys to improve your performance. But for beginner, I would say that improve your VO2 max first, then go for running economy. But in my conclusion,
So just to add on something that Jian Yong mentioned about the beginner runners, right? So what Jian Yong trying to say is you need to for as a base first. So that's the basic one. Okay. Right. Hi Jian Yong, can you hear me?
yeah, can. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry again.
Sorry, Daniel, I got a question. So just now you mentioned about the beginner runners, right? Are you trying to say that tell the beginner runners they need to build up some basic aerobic bases before they move
Yeah,
into competition, right? This is your
yeah,
intent. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Because if you don't have a base, like what Coach Sam always said, if you don't have a base, then how can you run faster? Then how can you run longer? So actually, for me, that I would say that VO2 max and running economy both are important in running performance, because if you don't have aerobic endurance, your pace, then you can't sustain longer. Then if you don't have a good running economy, then you can't run faster in a race or compete very high in the competition. So next slide. So I hope you guys always want to race like Eliud Kipchoge, the greatest marathoner. So here are some of the training schedule for you guys. Have a look, the simplest one. So you guys can screenshot it or write it down. So as you can see that there is some variety of the training session, like easy run, interval run, tempo run, fartlek, or LSD. The reason why we still need to include because we already know that interval training can improve your VO2 max, and interval training can also improve your running economy. Then why should we still include the easy run? Because easy run act as like the aerobic endurance, like the basic training. So you still need some of the basic training for you to have the adaptation for your body to improve your oxidative enzyme in your body and in your muscle, so that your muscle can extract more oxygen efficiently to produce more energy. And interval training and tempo training is more like a speed work. Then these two type of training can actually improve your running economy. So LSD is like the longer than the easy run. So you just build out your endurance, and you build out the aerobic capacity. Then also you also improve your running economy as well. So this is the combined training program for you guys to have a reference example, which you can modify it or use it in your training. So that's all for my presentation. I hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks for your time. And if you guys have any question, can comment below and we will answer it. And also, if you guys are interested in becoming my subject to have some actual VO2 Max test in the lab, then you guys can also drop comment below or just DM me or DM our head coach, so that I can schedule you to come our college to have a test. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so there's one question. One of the friend asked, why must we measure the VO2 max? So, question from me. Yeah.
Okay, so actually VO2 max is not just for you to measure your your fitness level, but also to measure your health as well. Because according to SCSM, which is American College of Sport Medicine, they say that VO2 max is actually to determine your cardiovascular endurance, which also translate to your health as well. If you have a good VO2 max, which is around 40 milliliter per kg per minute, then you are healthy. You're considered as healthy because your heart muscle is still there, and you are less likely to get some heart disease or heart attack, or uh, maybe you are less likely to get some of the cardiovascular disease. So besides from the health, we also use it to determine the athlete's fitness level. Also, we measure the VO2 max, we not just to determine your fitness level, but also to give the coach as a reference, which help us to prescribe the training for you, to design a training program for you to improve your performance.
Okay, so hope this answers questions. There's another questions. What about lactic threshold?
Letter threshold.
Yep.
Do you mean running economy or VO2 max?
Oh, I think Amir asked about these questions. So, what about lactic threshold? But yeah, I'm not quite sure what is this question. Yeah, I think he's trying to mention that is it important to measure our lactic threshold or to train on lactic threshold? There's two kind of questions, right? So what kind of?
Uh,
Yeah. I think Amir
so
need to come back. What are the questions? Is it important to measure lactic threshold or important to train at your lactic threshold zone? So I think yeah, need to
actually, from my perspective, I think that the threshold training is important for us. Like we race competitively, because if we don't train at uh, because the threshold is to help us not to train very high, but almost high, but not too high, so that we can reduce the most likely of the injury risk. Because if we consistently train at the highest intensity, then at the end we will most likely to get injured. But letter
Mm.
threshold is a good types of training for us to not train so slow, or not too fast, but we maintain the pace and we just maintain the heart rate zone to run at the what we call the comfortability heart. Is it? Yeah, to run at the comfortability heart, because this one can also improve not actually can improve much of your VO2 max, but little, but it also can improve your running economy as well. So actually lactate threshold training is important to include in your training program.
Okay. Let me just click. Okay, is VO2 max measured by smartwatch reliable? What do you think? Okay, next question. Jungit asks, is VO2 max measured by the smartwatch reliable?
Actually, I would say that smartwatch is not reliable because it's actually using some of the equations, some of the formula to track your daily training activity, your training heart activity, your heart response, and the duration of the training. So they use all this to determine your VO2 max. But I would say that this is not so accurate because you are not training at I mean maximally every time. You are just training maybe interval training, you just shorter duration, and then the LSD run you run at the low intensity. But I would say that Sportwatch is not a reliable tool to for you to determine your VO2 max. But
I think
the
the
best
good
way,
prediction, I will say, can I say that? Is there something like a good prediction from their VO2 max, but it's not accurate. I won't use the accurate word.
uh, can also can also be a good predictor to predict your VO2 max, because some of the runner before that I test some of the runner, they using their sport watch and compare with the actual VO2 max value. Actually is not have a big gap, but is close to their VO2 max value. But for me, there's a big gap because I train not maximally every time, so my VO2 max in my sport watch is very low.
So I think this one also relevant with this question. Why my VO2 max keep decreasing? Is it based on the watch? I think he tried to mention it's based on the watch, trying to decreasing. Hi, Jian Yun. One more question.
Hi.
Jian mentioned about why my VO2 max keep decreasing. I think this one refer to the watch. So,
Oh, okay. Actually, there are several factors that decreasing your VO2 max is because as you age, your maximum heart rate will be decreased, so that your VO2 max will be decreased as well. So if you are using sport watch, I think that is your training schedule is not tight, then I think your VO2 max value will be decreasing. But if you are using the actual way to measure your VO2 max, but you found that your VO2 max is decreasing, then I think that maybe one of the factor is that you age, you get older, then maybe you are more likely to decrease your VO2 max. But the most importantly is that how frequent you train. If you don't train frequently, then you still have the chance to decrease your VO2 max as well.
So what's the best, let's say for example, the lab and the field test, what's the best way to do a test for the lab and the field? Let's say they do themselves and also they go for a lab. What's the best way? Is it once a year, twice a year? So what's your recommendation?
Actually, it depends on the athletes. I mean the competition schedule. If they, for example, if they come to our lab at January and they have competition at around September or October, then I would say that maybe after 3 months of the training, then you can come to our lab again to have the test again, so that we can see whether the training is efficient for you or not to improve your performance. So if the training is not effective enough for you to improve your VO2 max, then I think we still need to look into the running economy as well. If your VO2 max is not increasing, but your running economy is improved, and the time to exhaustion of during the test is improved, then I would say that the training program is effective for you, because your performance is improved already, so that you can proceed to the next training phase. We will say that the training phase, and then we continue for the 3 months, and then after that, then you can compete very high, very competitively for your competition.
Okay. So again, is you need to I mean, you need someone to help you to judge that are you fit to go into the lab test. You don't train enough, you're not fit, and there's no point you go into the lab test, right? This is what you're trying to say, right? Hello? Okay, VO2 max fitness chart. Which one? The formula or the female and male one? No. Hi, Jian Yun. So, are you trying to say that, let's say, for example, let's say they are not fit, don't have enough training. So your recommendation is they don't go into lab test first. So before they go into lab test, they make sure that two things: train enough and fit enough to do that, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, actually you can say that, but if some of the people who still want to get some actual result, then I would say you can go to the lab. But if you want to just to make sure that you are fit enough, because not everyone fit into this I mean the testing protocol, because you need to run maximally. But like just now coach said that if you are not fit enough.
Can we drop again? Yeah, so I mentioned, because why I mentioned that is because my opinion, I also do the VO2 max test in the lab before and also outside the field. So I test in UM now, of course. So before we do a test, then the doctor asks us to check our fitness as well. So the reason why I say that is because I also do the test in UM before when I do the lab test. So I think Dr. Kong also asked me, they test us before we go inside. Are we fit enough? Are we trained enough or not? So to schedule it, it's not immediately you can do the test. We need to schedule it. We need to see the test. Oh yeah, because it's not as simple as you do the field test, just run for your own.
Yeah. Because in the lab test you need to run as maximally. So we're afraid that if your fitness level is not there, then you might get some worst case lah. Worst case lah, because you need to run maximally. Because some of the athletes, if their fitness level is there, they can run maximally until they're fully exhausted, so that we can take the actual result.
Yeah, I think conclusion is, if you want very accurate VO2 max in the lab test, right, you need to be fit. Need to, before you go in. If you ask yourself, because you will know, if you, let's say you don't train for the last 3-4 weeks, right, you go inside a lab, right, there's no point, because end of the day you can't get the accurate VO2 max score. This is what we're trying to say lah. So it's waste your effort. You go in, you suffer, then
So,
hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can hear.
During the lab test, do you take the blood sample as well?
Yeah, actually we take the blood latex samples
Yeah.
to
Same.
see the blood accumulation.
Yep. That's right. Okay. Next
Yeah.
question. Why VO2 max drop after LSD? Wow, this is a lot of people ask about this question.
Why VO2 max drop after LSD? I think this he using his watch to see the VO2 max value.
I,
Is
I
it
have
coach?
okay, I have opinion on this. So this is always a lot of runners ask me, and my student ask me, hey, why my VO2 max drop after every time I do easy run and LSD? My opinion, this is just my opinion, because when the time people run at easy run and LSD, right, people run like sloppy, lazy, and chinchay run, it just like very slow low cadence, high ground contact time, very slow pace. Run like so lazy and not economist, right? So he will give you a score. So that's why he minus your point from the VO2 max. This is just my opinion, okay? It is just because he detect, why you like performance drop already. So if you're using the G brand watch, right, usually they have one summary report, you will have one like performance score, right? So that one will determine you why keep on dropping. So he also minus your point from VO2 max. So this is how they calculate the algorithms.
Yeah, it actually is not wrong. It's right because you are lazy. You run very slow. You run at low intensity. Because VO2 max, we just want to see your maximal effort, your good
Yeah.
effort, your maximal effort. So we can improve your VO2 max. So if you run very lazy, you run at low intensity, then your VO2 max are more likely to drop if you're using your watch lah.
Yeah, this is based on my opinion because I also do some
Yeah.
easy run and LSD, right? So I noticed that my I have some performance minus points. So I noticed that then I look at the data, right? So I do interval and versus I do LSD, right? The cadence is much more better on the interval, and the ground per time much
Yeah.
more lesser, and the running economy
Yeah.
much more better in interval because that's why I do a comparison that maybe this is the factor. So I think even when you do LSD and easy run, I always tell my students that you need to run it in a form. I mean, post method they always teach us back to the frame.
Yeah.
You need to always back to the framework. Not only you do interval tempo run or you do easy or LSD, so you always in that frame, which is the post
Yeah.
what we always
Yeah.
say the framework. Okay, very very important. Yep. Oh, someone asked about the research project. The project that requires subject to perform the automated test. Oh, okay. When is your okay? Please, Bon, please drop. Do she need to comment anything?
Maybe I will text him later.
PM her, PM her. Okay. So
PM.
yeah, PM her. So Along, I hope you print screen just now the rating chart. Okay. If no, then okay lah. You look for me. Okay. Okay. Again, last 5 minutes, if you have any question, feel free to drop any question here. So today, I think we talk about a lot of VO2 max versus running economies.
Running
So I
economy.
also have a discussion with Jian Yun many times that, for my opinion, we read a lot of research that actually VO2 max is also one of the genetic born. It's quite a, how to say, is everyone born to have a fixed VO2 max high score. Okay, let's say for example, if you're born with 89, so you if you don't train, you will drop until 75 or 55. If you train, you reach back, you're almost close to your maximum. You cannot like overachieve 89 because that is your genetic. Is that correct? Am I correct? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. That's true.
Temporal, we're trying to reach our max, our own max, not over your own limit, okay? Because we will not know your limit until you do the field test and the lab test. That will determine your maximum VO2 max. So we will not know, okay? Like I know my max, so Jian Yong know his max, so he will base on that to continue to study his own, okay? Okay, this is one of the runners ask. So our VO2 max should always be referred after HIIT run. This one I'm not quite sure I understand.
Huh?
This one I'm not understand.
I think he because we always mention that LSD run is not the accurate one for you to determine your VO2 max. I think he think that HIIT run can determine his VO2 max. But I would say that if you are using watch, then maybe can. But the accurate way, the actual way for you to test is using, like just now I say that if you don't want to go to the lab test, then you can do some few tests like 2.4 km run test and 2 miles run test, and you can use those equation to calculate your VO2 max value. That's not the actual one, not the accurate one, but almost close to your actual VO2 max.
Okay, yeah. How often we test the VO2 max lab test? Is it once a year? Is it better to do it once a year? The lab test one?
If you are running competitively, then I think maybe depends on your head coach. If your head coach very want to see your whether you are improved from the training or not, then I think some of the coach will say that 3 months, once a 3 months, or once a 6 months, like that. But if you are not competitively, then I would say once a year is enough already.
Competitive one? Once a year or twice a year? Like normal runners, let's say they are just a normal competitive group runners, not those like elite levels. So what's your recommendation?
I would say that also still the same. Once a year is enough already.
Minimum,
but if you are consistent, minimum. But if you are consistently checking with your training schedule, then I would say that for you to understand whether your training program is working on you or not, then maybe half a year also can already.
Okay. Okay, I think this will be the last questions. If I still have improved on my timing, when VO2 max is the same average above 2 years, 45. Oh, his age is 45, I think. May I know, do I still consider for VO2 max for improvement? I think it's VO2 max is 45, is it?
Actually not your view. I think he said that his running performance is improved already, but his VO2 max is still maintained at 40. Yeah, he improved his running economy actually.
I think it's good because okay, frankly speaking, what we want to improve the timing, or we want to improve our VO2 max. Which one you want? So I think the most important is still the timing, right? If you improve your timing, is you're doing better, or you have a good running economy. So I think that is the most important. VO2 max score is just an indication. Don't take it so serious. I think a lot of people take it very seriously, but I mean, again, if you have a very high score VO2 max, if you don't improve your time for the next 5 years, so I think it's also important to me, my opinion. If you improve your time, I think congratulations, Tan, you did a great job, or you did something right. So this is our opinion. Yep. Good. Yes, he said it's VO2 max 45. I thought it's his age 45. Okay, good. Once again, thank you, Jian Yun. Please, I see that a lot of comments. I think people like to hear more about, because it's always we talk, we're going to hear about students and sports science people's talk about from scientific point of view, and from normal experience. For me, I based on experience, and also studies, and also my own study I read books. So I think it's good to we have some collaborations with people who study sports science and people who have the field who are outside, which is, I think, is important to have open discussions, so that people know. If you have scientific question, you can ask sports science student. If you want experience, so we can share about our opinions. I think it's quite good combinations on that. So I hope we have more about this topic. So feel free to comment if you guys want to know more. What's the next topic? You can comment any topic you want. Then so once again, thank you, Jian Yun. Hope you guys enjoy. So we first time overrun 1 hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, this is the first time Jian Yun do a live in Facebook Live. So we've been talking about this for a long time. So he's just back from his hometown, Kedah. So thank you guys. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you.
Yes.
Remember, drop your name here. If you want to become a subject for the lab test, not lab test, the research from Jian Yun, please drop a test here. Say I want to become a subject from Jian Yun project. So he will PM you. I'll ask Jian Yun to direct PM you and contact with you. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.